What's the most ridiculous first world problem you've seen people get worked up over? I once knew a mom who was legitimately devastated, to the point of tears grief, because a doctor predicted her 8-year-old daughter's final height to be around 5 feet 2 inches, which wasn't tall enough to get cast as Belle at Disney World. That was the child's and her mother's only dream in life, apparently. Didn't appreciate my suggestion that she could be Minnie or Mickey. LOL, only a face character would do. When I was about 19 years old, I was at my boyfriend's family barbecue. I was wearing this pretty floral sundress. His cousin's girlfriend showed up in the same dress and she was so mad that she went and changed. I will never understand being upset when someone is wearing the same thing as you. Did you really think that your shirt you bought off the rack is going to be unique to you? No. The blue of the balloons wasn't quite the same as the bridesmaid sashes. Years ago my wife and I attended a wedding. It was very low-key. The dinner was in the Didding Hall at the university where the couple met, cinder block walls and all. It was a Baptist wedding, no booze and very serious. The dark blue balloons attempting to liven up the hall were a slightly darker shade of blue than the sashes on the bridesmaids' dresses. The bride lost her shit and absolutely raved for nearly an hour. I can't remember how they finally managed to talk her down. I work in a public library. People will get so mad if they have to be put on a wait list for a book. A popular book that just came out. Okay, our services are not only free but so are the books. You're welcome, assholes. My own. We have a bidet toilet seat, fabulous, everyone should have one, and not only does it wash your bum and blow dry it, but the seat's heated. It's shocking how much a heated toilet seat makes the whole process more agreeable. Except we had a power outage and I went to use the toilet and the seat was cold. Unacceptable, this shall not stand. I was really upset because it didn't feel good. Then I stopped and thought, this is the most first world problem anyone's ever had. I was really pissed because my hiney was tepid. I got over it. Weddings are a gold mine for this question. People get so hyped up over their most important day of their life, they'll destroy friendships, go into debt, and have crazy expectations. It's not always the couple who go crazy, either. Sometimes, it's the parents or another family member who feels entitled to control the wedding. It's just a party. Be considerate of guests, have plenty of food and drinks, and enjoy it. Having to pull off to the side to wait for a drive-through order to be brought out to you because your food isn't ready and there's a line building up behind you. Anything Starbucks related. Holiday cups, star awards, points reset, pay it forward etiquette, whatever. Any freakout at a fast food joint. I regularly see people come to blows about football. Edit, I was originally referring mostly to American football, but it also applies to soccer. Well, I get really fucking pissed off at the printers in my office. We put a guy on the moon 54 years ago, but we can't make something that puts fucking ink on paper. Holy fuck. Don't know if this qualifies. On safari in Kenya, when all the laundry was hand-washed by the staff, a North American got very upset when she was informed she'd have to do her own panties. I saw an ad that some McDonald's may carry the Szechuan sauce Rick Morty mentioned in an episode. I was a little curious and asked a manager if they had it. He said his location wasn't one of the ones that had it. Another customer in line lost his fucking mind. He accused the manager of hoarding it all to sell on eBay. I watched the drama for a little bit but decided to leave as he was attempting to climb the counter. I really hope the asshole was arrested. Video game companies getting threats, including false bomb alerts, because some players got mad that the devs didn't design the game the way they wanted. Being disappointed at a product or service you bought is acceptable. Complaining about it is also acceptable. But feeling attacked to point of making threats and using intimidation over a video game? Not even because of a social issue but because you weren't the one being catered to. That's a first world problem. Apple versus Android. Get a life. Not being able to get haircuts during lockdown. I will never forget the people with those posters. My kid last week said, "Oh, but Dad, I had gnocchi for lunch at school when I was making dinner." I've got this cousin. His upper middle management for a rather large department store chain. Bought himself his dream car, a Dodge Viper. He got a personalized license plate. Nagini. When I saw him at the family reunion, I was giving him a hard time about it, because I'd always been known as the nerd in the family. I was really getting under his skin. And then, he hit me with the biggest first world problem I'd ever heard. "Hey, do you know how hard it is to get a snake-themed personalized license plate for a Dodge Viper?" A lady in our neighborhood was renovating her 5-bedroom home while building a similarly sized vacation home in Arizona. She said, "Oh, you have no idea how stressful it is to decorate 2 homes at once." When iPhone users get annoyed when they're texting someone using Android and their messages appear green instead of blue. Not being able to park right outside your house in an area of terraced houses built in the 1850s when the motorcar was a distant dream. Food. We make such a big fuss about what and where we eat. It's like you know it's a first world problem and not rational, but still can't help it. When the Reddit app goes offline for a few minutes. Michelin-starred restaurants tend to have too much fish on the tasting menus. I worked at a very upscale restaurant one summer during college. It was on the street level of an office building, so people did a lot of business lunches, etc. One particular guy came in for lunch every Wednesday and Thursday. He had to have a specific, giant booth to himself with his place setting laid out a specific way down to the measurements. One time a new hostess sat a large party there and management realized it too late. The dude about had a stroke. They gave him an identical table on the opposite wall and still comped his meal. The supposed war on Christmas. HOAs. These people have been waiting their whole lives to stir some shit up over something minuscule. I work for TSA, and someone complained to me the pre-check line was longer than the non-pre-check line. "You sorry lady? I'll tell the other people to go home." At ShopRite, when the roast beef is one more than they wanted it to be, and stand at customer service yelling at a 16-year-old like it's their fault. Crying over their favorite celebrity breaking up with a partner. The warehouse worker that comes into my office every Monday complaining how the janitor put the hand soap on the right side of the sink rather than the left side. Getting annoyed that your order is taking too long at Starbucks. People are absolutely losing their shit around here about others putting up solar panels. Bullying like I haven't seen since elementary school. It's nuts. When asked why, most respond by saying that they just don't want to look at them. People getting angry about saying happy holidays to encompass about 10 weeks worth of different holidays together. Honestly, I think caring what sort of coffee other people drink and how they drink it. If someone else wants to drink it mixed in with caramel and spices and frapped, let them just drink their damn drink, however they damn well like. I've seen a woman cry because she couldn't sync her iPhone to the sound system in her Jaguar. Oh my god, why is there so much traffic on 10 a.m. on a Tuesday? Does no one work? Friend, whose job is managing her parents' money, who could never have a regular job. The grocery store not having the exact item a customer is looking for. There's like 20 other options available and they are making a scene over nothing. People like that are why I'm at my local supermarket when it opens at 6 a.m. The assholes of the world tend to be lazy as well. Not getting a sauce for your chicken nuggets and trashing an entire restaurant as a result. Whining about who Time magazine picks as Person of the Year. Whining about the popularity of a movie because you aren't the primary target audience. I saw a video of a woman getting extra angry because she got a KitchenAid mixer for Christmas. Those things are super expensive. I would be so happy if I got one of those, but she was super mad. I just think getting mad about something like that is silly. Vaccination. Nothing screams I'm oblivious to my own privilege like an ignorant anti-vaxxer. Me, when I use my phone to start my car, and the heated steering wheel comes on but I don't have the option to turn the heated seats on. Also me when there's a raindrop on my backup camera and have to use my mirrors. I'm ridiculous. People that whine and bitch about services like DoorDash. Could have just picked it up myself, yeah. LOL. My microwaved food I ordered from 97 miles away wasn't warm when I got it, yeah. LOL. This item I bought cost more being brought to my house and being given to me was more expensive than the last time I was in the store, yeah. LOL. Being hangry. In North America alone, the waste of food is egregious. When you've lived that life not worrying about your meals whatsoever, just know there are folks who would do heinous things to be in your position. I have a really foul-mouthed coworker who sounds off when he tells me his hangry stories. It's embarrassing how worked up he gets over something he has complete access to. Everybody's guilty of being in a sour mood when hungry, but to constantly complain about it rather than check yourself, exercise self-control is shameful. When iPhone users get annoyed when they're texting someone using Android and their messages appear green instead of blue. Some of the employees I supervise threw the biggest fit when given a uniform because the company was stifling their creativity and individuality and that we're doomed to fail because customers will see how terrible we are. We work at a dispensary. No one is going to stop buying weed because you wear a uniform shirt. STFU and sell some weed LMAO. Anyone on a buy-sell platform Facebook Marketplace lowballing and getting upset when I say no and that I ruined their kid's birthday. I'm more than happy to ruin someone's birthday rather than take 20 of my asking price D. The Wi-Fi is down. Being rude to a retail or food worker over petty shit. I'm so sorry that your 3,500 calorie meal was missing the side of ranch you asked for. Ask politely and get your extra diabetes. God, people are such assholes. Self-checkout lanes. My entire neighborhood community lost their minds when our Walmarts switched to mostly self-checkout. I'll never shop there again. I'm not about to be bagging my own groceries. They're going to lose so much business insanity. People demanding Selena Gomez weigh in on Israel-Palestine. Regularly get people in the ER who are upset that they aren't being treated faster. That's a legitimate concern when someone is sick, but if your reason for being upset about the wait is that you're in the ER for something that isn't a big deal and shouldn't take long, you're an entitled POS. If it isn't a big deal, it doesn't belong in the ER. Last night I watched Patrick Mahomes get hella worked up over what was obviously a penalty on his guy that he thought shouldn't have been a penalty because special treatment or something. His press conference afterwards was pretty ridiculous. My manager won't shut up about barriers and impediments to making travel arrangements to our supervisor who works 12-hour shifts to cover manager's vacations. Manager might be a tad out of touch while vacationing overseas. Not having diet soda available at a party or a menu. If you're that adamant about wanting a soda, you can drink a regular. If not, you can have water or another beverage. I've been to countries where people's average wage was equivalent to 2 a day, multiple families living in one room, no plumbing, families of 5 piled on a bike, and goddammit they were kind, smiled and laughed at little things and made more of life than most people do here. So I'd say feelings getting hurt over an imagined slight. Not saying your feelings aren't valid, but getting on SM whining about it is a first world problem for real. Working retail, I've experienced the most pettiest of humans. I don't even know where to start. I was on an LA to NYC flight and they announced the TVs weren't working. Everyone groaned and moaned, vouchers were offered, etc. And I wasn't happy either, but it's insane how privileged we are to travel that far so quickly and what a petty problem it is to be bored for 6